Harry and Meghan cancelled again?
Oh dear, there's trouble in paradise.
Serena Williams just officially dumped Meghan Markle for Emma Thinn, the Marchioness of Bath, and the whole thing is mortifyingly awkward.
So it's a big humiliation and it's a financial headache because that's how Megs was hoping to make her money, selling clobber to the great unwashed.
Did Meghan Markle's Met Gala invite disappear again? That question completely took over social media after this year's event, and the reactions felt way bigger than normal celebrity gossip. While A-list actors, music stars, billionaires, fashion icons, and viral internet personalities climbed the famous Metropolitan Museum of Art steps in New York, one name people instantly noticed missing was Meghan Markle. Again, the Met Gala isn't just another fancy celebrity party people post on Instagram and forget about the next day. This event is viewed like Hollywood's ultimate status symbol. Getting invited means you're still connected to the most powerful entertainment and fashion circles in the world.
You've got Prince Harry and Meghan Markle having to try and justify to their propagandists in the mainstream media, and there's not many left now, but Town and Country magazine and Harper's Bazaar, why they skipped the 2026 Met Gala. And effectively, it was simply that they were not invited.
Every detail matters there: the outfits, the guest list, the photos, the tables, and even who gets photographed talking to who. It's all part of the image game. And sitting at the center of that world is Anna Wintour, the woman known for running one of the most exclusive guest lists on the planet. People see her approval almost like a golden ticket into elite celebrity society. That's why absences always create conversation online.
But for Serena Williams, for Meghan to lose her support is highly significant because for a long time, Serena Williams remained steadfastly loyal as one of Meghan's only genuine A-list friends.
If someone misses the Met Gala once, nobody thinks much of it. Twice, maybe people start wondering what happened. But when the same high-profile person keeps missing year after year, social media starts building theories fast. And Meghan's situation always brings extra attention because her name still pulls massive reactions worldwide. Whether people love her or criticize her, she stays tied to two huge worlds at the same time: Hollywood fame and royal family drama. That combination keeps her constantly trending online, which is exactly why people noticed her absence almost immediately this year.
Emma Thinn says, oh, we need Venus here next year. Not Meghan. Venus.
Best day ever, right? You can sleep another 10 hours. Venus has got to get ready here. Venus next year, you're coming with us.
The second red carpet photos started flooding the internet. People began asking the same thing all over again. Why wasn't Meghan there? Some users online even started debating whether she was ever truly accepted by the highest celebrity circles in the first place. Others defended her, saying she no longer needs events like the Met Gala to stay relevant. But regardless of what side people took, the discussion exploded everywhere across blogs, comment sections, TikTok clips, and celebrity pages. What made things even more interesting was seeing Serena Williams at the event, looking completely comfortable in that spotlight. Serena, who has often been linked publicly as one of Meghan's closest celebrity friends, arrived surrounded by cameras, fashion coverage, and non-stop attention. She looked fully locked into the glamorous atmosphere that dominates the Met Gala every single year. And online, people immediately started connecting dots. Photos of Serena standing beside powerful names in entertainment, fashion, and business quickly spread across social media.
So Anna Wintour loves King Charles, Queen Camilla. Why would she want the knockoff Duchess, who has basically shanked her family and trashed them on reality shows, interviews with Oprah? They've done books about them. Why would she want Meghan Markle then coming to the Met Gala, right? If she loves the royals. And we know this because a few days ago, after they left Washington, D.C., King Charles and Queen Camilla, they went to New York and they did some events with Anna Wintour.
The visuals alone had people talking nonstop, because in celebrity culture, images tell stories without anybody needing to explain them out loud. Who you stand next to matters. Who invites you matters. Which designer dresses you matters. Even small moments caught by photographers can shape public opinion fast. That's why Meghan's absence became such a huge talking point again. While other major figures were busy networking, posing for cameras, and dominating headlines inside one of the biggest entertainment events on the planet, Meghan was nowhere to be seen. And in celebrity culture, being absent from certain rooms can sometimes create even louder headlines than actually showing up. The internet definitely noticed that.
A video that Serena Williams made of Meghan's product, which was so clearly designed to tell the world, don't buy this.
Instead, while celebrities were busy dominating headlines in New York, Meghan was reportedly attending a much quieter private gathering in Chicago, connected to close family friends. Compared to the wild energy and non-stop chaos of the Met Gala, the setting sounded incredibly low-key, calm, and almost shockingly normal for someone with her level of fame. And honestly, that contrast got the internet talking fast. While the Met Gala exploded with dramatic fashion, luxury brands, viral red carpet moments, and cameras flashing from every angle, the images connected to Meghan painted the total opposite picture. The atmosphere looked relaxed, simple, and private. No giant media circus surrounding her, no massive crowd chasing photos, no over-the-top spectacle attached to every move she made. Some people online called it refreshing and classy.
But imagine Meghan Markle at the Met Gala. That would be her Super Bowl. It's everything she wants. It's flashing cameras, lights, press, paparazzi, attention, wealthy people. You know, she loves to mingle, she loves to schmooze. But Meghan Markle, she is not a fashion icon. Meghan Markle, half the clothes she wears, they don't fit, they're wrinkled. She got all that money from Netflix. She can't afford a steamer. She'd probably show up in those big baggy pants she loves. Meghan Markle loves those big baggy pants where if she kicks her leg, she's gonna fly off. She can lift off the ground.
Others thought the timing felt way too perfect to be random. That's where the online speculation started growing even bigger, because in today's celebrity culture, image is everything. Every appearance, every outfit, every event, every location, and every photo can shape a public narrative within minutes.
She always looks unkempt in some way. It's like I saw a close up, and this is not to be petty, but this is the result of forcing yourself in our faces.
So when two completely opposite celebrity images appear at the exact same time, people naturally start comparing them. On one side, you had the Met Gala, packed with giant designer looks, elite celebrity networking, and non-stop media attention.
All Meghan Markle craved was an invite from Serena to the Met Gala. Instead, these were the types of videos that we saw on social media from before the event. Serena and Emma Thinn getting ready, dancing. It was almost like the type of video that you post, if you're trying to annoy an ex.
On the other side, Meghan appeared connected to something much quieter and more relatable. Whether intentional or not, that contrast created buzz by itself and kept social media debating all night long. But even with that softer public image floating around online, one question still refused to disappear. Why has Meghan never attended the Met Gala at all? That's the part many people still find surprising. Because Meghan exists right at the intersection of Hollywood fame, royal family headlines, global media attention, celebrity friendships, streaming deals, and non-stop internet discussion.
She is the first Black woman to be married into an aristocracy family. And I think Meghan Markle tries to claim that, but it was actually Emma.
On paper, she seems like the exact type of public figure the Met Gala usually wants attending such an exclusive event. That's why people keep bringing up the same conversation every single year. At a certain point, repeated absences stop looking accidental to the internet. Instead, people start treating it like one of those strange celebrity mysteries nobody can fully explain. And in Hollywood, silence can sometimes attract way more attention than actually appearing somewhere. Over the years, the Met Gala has welcomed royals, actors, influencers, fashion executives, music stars, designers, and even rising social media personalities who don't have anywhere near Meghan Markle's global recognition. The event doors have opened for plenty of famous people from every corner of entertainment and high society, just never for Meghan. That alone keeps the online theories alive.
There was no excuse. They just didn't receive the ask. Anna Wintour didn't want them there. Serena Williams didn't want them there. Lauren Sanchez didn't want them there. They hate them.
Some fans argue the explanation is simple. They believe the Met Gala just doesn't match Meghan's current image anymore. According to that view, her focus has shifted toward different projects, business ventures, philanthropy, media production, and a more controlled public identity that isn't built around traditional Hollywood approval or elite fashion circles. And honestly, that explanation could absolutely make sense. But other people online believe there's more happening behind the scenes. Not necessarily some huge public feud, but quiet distance inside certain elite social and fashion spaces. For years, there's been soft chatter online about relationships that once looked strong publicly, but slowly faded over time behind closed doors.
They did events with Anna Wintour, they did events with Sarah Jessica Parker, and I imagine Meghan Markle was watching this fuming, okay? I think Meghan Markle might have even posted another video of her kids as this was going on, because like clockwork, anytime the royals are getting good press and something's going well for them, Meghan Markle pulls up a video of the kids from the archive.
Conversations about celebrity connections that generated headlines at first, but never fully turned into long-term alliances. Nothing has ever been officially confirmed, but the whispers never completely disappear either. And because Meghan's name always drives massive attention online, even small rumors quickly turn into huge discussions across blogs, TikTok videos, celebrity forums, and comment sections. Every year the Met Gala happens without her there, those conversations start all over again. And in industries built almost entirely on connections and networking, that matters a lot.
Emma Thinn had been also invited to the King Charles event in New York last week that Meghan wasn't at. And then look at who she showed up with at the Met Gala. That is Edward Enninful, another former Meghan Markle BFF turned sworn enemy.
Certain names always seem to come up whenever these conversations about Meghan and the Met Gala start trending online. One of the biggest is Edward Enninful, especially because of his highly publicized connection with Meghan during the British Vogue collaboration years ago. Back then, the partnership looked like a massive power move. Fashion, celebrity influence, royal attention, media headlines. It seemed like the perfect combination for both sides at the time.
So there's absolutely no doubt that this was shade. Massive shade being thrown at Meghan Markle.
People online talked about it constantly. For a while, it looked like Meghan was becoming deeply connected to elite fashion circles in both the UK and the US. Her image blended royalty, Hollywood fame, and luxury branding all at once, which made her stand out in a huge way. But over time, the excitement surrounding that connection appeared to cool off noticeably, and people definitely noticed the silence that followed. That's where speculation started growing again.
Things are looking pretty bad for Meghan Markle. Not to mention the fact that Lauren Sanchez also didn't want her at the event. She is, of course, the wife of Jeff Bezos, and that is because Meghan once dismissed her, described her as trash.
Then there's the larger fashion world itself, the ultra-exclusive inner circle connected to the Met Gala. These aren't just celebrities attending one glamorous event. These are the people who help shape trends, define status, and control major conversations inside fashion and entertainment culture. And sitting right at the center of that world is Anna Wintour. Her guest lists are famous for a reason. Nothing about the invitations feels random. Every name attached to the Met Gala sends a message about influence, relevance, connections, branding, and social power inside elite entertainment circles.
This Met Gala thing is uber embarrassing for Meghan Markle, isn't it? She can't even get an invite to this event, even with Serena Williams, such a big part of it. And it seems to me, Jobbo, that Serena is making quite a point with this friendship with Emma Thinn, who is now another big rival of Ms. Markle.
That's why people read so deeply into who gets invited and who doesn't. And whether fair or unfair, Meghan's very public split from royal life created a much more complicated image around her over the years. Supporters see her as independent and modern. Critics see constant controversy surrounding her name. Either way, the public conversation around Meghan became far more layered than it was during her early royal years. That contrast hasn't gone unnoticed inside industries where perception quietly shapes almost everything behind the scenes. In elite circles, reputation matters heavily, loyalty matters, branding matters, relationships matter. Sometimes there doesn't even need to be public drama for opportunities to shift behind closed doors. Even subtle changes in connections can completely change how people move inside high-profile spaces.
Meghan thought Lauren was loud, thirsty, and painfully performative. Could she be describing herself?
So she can scam her way to the top, but she can't scam her way into the Met Gala.
Still, calling it some kind of direct rejection would probably oversimplify the situation. Meghan's public identity has transformed massively over the last several years. She's gone from television actress to royal family member to independent media figure-building projects outside traditional Hollywood systems. That's a huge shift for anybody to navigate publicly. And transitions like that almost always come with complications, especially in industries where relationships often work like social currency.
If she's not at the Met Gala, I'm telling you guys, she's going to be at home like the rest of us, watching and judging and fuming and seething.
Because the Met Gala isn't really just about fame alone. It's about being connected to a larger ecosystem of designers, magazine editors, luxury fashion houses, celebrity stylists, media executives, influencers, investors, and powerful cultural figures. That's what makes the event feel so exclusive every year. Being invited means more than simply wearing an expensive outfit and posing for cameras. It signals that you're still considered part of the biggest cultural conversation happening at that moment. So when someone with Meghan Markle's level of global fame keeps missing from that room year after year, people naturally start asking questions. Not necessarily because it's scandalous, but because it feels unusual compared to how often her name dominates headlines everywhere else.
The Met Gala invites have gone out, none sent to Meghan and Prince Harry. Now, she was banking. Now, Paula, look, she does say there's always the chance of a last-minute invite, that type of thing, but it's not looking good. And it is surprising, given you've got the Bezos, the Beyonce, the Williams, but it does feel like Anna Wintour has put her foot down.
And maybe that's why this discussion keeps getting bigger every single year. Maybe the conversation isn't really about one party at all. Maybe it's about where Meghan currently fits inside celebrity culture as it exists today. Is she intentionally creating her own lane outside traditional Hollywood approval systems? Or are some of those elite spaces simply harder to access now than they once seemed to be? Honestly, almost nobody outside those circles truly knows. But one thing is obvious. The Met Gala still operates like one giant snapshot of influence, status, celebrity relevance, and cultural power. It shows who's dominating attention in that exact moment and who's shaping the conversation online, in fashion, and across entertainment media. And even though Meghan Markle wasn't physically inside the room this year, people still spent hours talking about her anyway.
Someone who has allegedly been snubbed from the Met Gala, according to almost every single news site online, is none other than Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Scamelot.
If her absence had only happened once, the internet probably would have moved on a long time ago. But that's not what happened. Year after year, as guest lists change, new celebrities rise. Influencers explode online and fresh stars enter elite circles. One detail always stays the same. Meghan Markle has never walked those famous Met Gala steps, and people keep noticing it more every single year. Because the Met Gala has never been fully closed off to royalty or globally recognized public figures. In fact, history shows the complete opposite. Over the years, the event has welcomed major names who sit directly between tradition, wealth, fame, and cultural influence. Princess Diana famously attended back in 1996, creating a fashion moment people still reference decades later. Queen Rania also became part of that world, representing a modern royal image on an international stage. Even younger aristocratic figures like Charlotte Casiraghi have appeared within those same elite circles. That history is exactly why Meghan's continued absence keeps standing out online and why the conversation refuses to disappear. So the idea that royalty somehow doesn't belong at the Met Gala really doesn't hold up when you look at the history of the event. And that's exactly why Meghan Markle's continued absence stands out much more than people expect. On paper, she seems like a perfect fit. She's a former actress, a duchess, a globally recognized public figure, and someone whose name still dominates conversations connected to both Hollywood and the royal world.
Well, I've got to say, while I never like being away from the camera, and obviously we're off doing work, but I was very pleased that I completely missed the whirlwind of Harry and Meghan coming in and out of Australia in the past few weeks. So thank you for bringing me up to date on matters that they're still the losers that I imagined they were when they were here.
If anything, Meghan looks like the exact kind of crossover celebrity the Met Gala usually loves. Somebody who blends fame, fashion, media attention, and cultural influence all into one headline-making image. And yet, somehow she's never been there. No confirmed invitation, no public rejection, no official explanation. Just years of silence while the internet keeps filling in the blanks with theories, speculation, and non-stop discussion. A lot of the conversation keeps circling back to relationships inside the fashion industry itself. Not random gossip exactly, but ongoing public speculation about professional connections that may have shifted quietly over time. One name that constantly gets brought up is Edward Enninful, especially because of Meghan's British Vogue guest editor project several years ago. At the time, that collaboration looked huge. It generated major headlines, massive attention online, and positioned Meghan right in the middle of high fashion media conversations. For a moment, it looked like a major power connection was forming. The partnership felt polished, influential, and culturally important for both sides. But in the years since, people noticed something interesting. That collaboration never really turned into an ongoing public alliance. There were no major follow-up projects, no repeated partnerships grabbing headlines, and no obvious continuation of that once highly visible connection.
Meghan posing in a dress. I mean, this woman just doesn't have a clue. Every photograph she posts, it looks like something from a 1970s.
And in industries where relationships often matter just as much as talent or public image, silence like that rarely goes unnoticed. Then there's the bigger conversation about how influence works inside elite spaces like the Met Gala. Because getting connected to those rooms isn't only about fame anymore, it's about networks, positioning, social circles, long-term industry relationships, and who stays consistently plugged into those worlds behind the scenes. Take Serena Williams, for example. She's long been viewed as one of Meghan's closest celebrity friends and has publicly supported her many times over the years. But Serena's position inside fashion and elite entertainment spaces also exists independently from any single friendship. At events like the Met Gala, Serena moves comfortably among powerful designers, business figures, celebrities, and international socialites. That level of access says a lot. She's often photographed beside influential names like Emma Thinn, the Marchioness of Bath, and people online are quick to point out that these combinations usually aren't viewed as random inside elite celebrity culture. In these circles, appearances are carefully managed and heavily analyzed afterward. Who arrives together matters. Who stands next to each other in photos matters. Who gets invited into private conversations matters. Even one viral image can quietly send signals about influence, alignment, and current social positioning within those powerful spaces.
Well, it's not going that well because she cannot get a ticket to the Met Ball, which of course the Met Gala. This is the big fashion event of the year in New York.
And Emma Thinn adds another fascinating layer to the whole conversation. Like Meghan, she represents a mix of modern identity and traditional aristocratic structure. She moves naturally through elite fashion events, luxury brand spaces, cultural gatherings, and high-profile international society circles without seeming out of place at all. Her presence inside those worlds appears steady, established, and fully connected. That's partly why people online keep comparing these social dynamics whenever Meghan's Met Gala absence becomes a trending topic again. In celebrity culture, people don't just pay attention to who's famous, they pay attention to who stays visibly connected to powerful rooms year after year. But unlike Meghan, Emma Thinn's presence inside those elite environments appears steady, natural, and uninterrupted. And that difference is exactly what people online keep noticing. The comparison comes up again and again because in celebrity and fashion, culture consistency matters a lot. Being regularly seen at major events, maintaining visible relationships, and staying connected to powerful circles quietly reinforces someone's status over time. And when people compare Meghan's absence from spaces like the Met Gala to others who continue moving comfortably inside them, the conversation grows even bigger. Then there's the larger inner circle surrounding the Met Gala itself, especially figures like Anna Wintour, whose influence over the event is basically unmatched. The guest list is never random. It's not only about who's famous online or trending on social media for a few weeks. Invitations are tied to a much bigger picture involving fashion credibility, cultural influence, long-term industry relationships, brand alignment, and social positioning within elite entertainment spaces.
Hey y'all, so I just got this in the mail from my friend Meghan. I debauched it. She's like so classy and I'm just like, look at this. This is nuts. Anyway, the chocolate was beautiful and it was delicious. I don't like chocolate. Candles, ginger cashmere. I couldn't pronounce the other word. This one is amber, water lily. And another word I can't pronounce, but it looks good. I love candles. Thank you. I love you.
That was almost the most damning indictment of as if you could ever get.
And Anna Wintour's connections across those worlds are legendary. She has long-standing relationships with major British institutions, luxury fashion houses, influential designers, cultural leaders, and figures connected to aristocratic and royal circles. That network carries enormous influence behind the scenes. Now, that doesn't automatically mean Meghan is excluded from anything, but it does add another layer to how visibility and invitations are understood inside environments where reputation and long-term relationships quietly shape opportunities. Because in these circles, public image carries serious weight. And Meghan's public story over the last several years has been anything but quiet. Interviews, documentaries, business ventures, streaming projects, public statements, and brand launches have all played a role in shaping how different industries view her. Every major appearance adds another chapter to the public narrative surrounding her name. Inside entertainment media, that level of visibility can actually be a huge advantage because attention drives headlines, engagement, and relevance. But inside more traditional spaces tied closely to legacy institutions and established social structures, nonstop public attention can sometimes create a more complicated dynamic. And that tension sits right at the center of this whole Met Gala discussion. Because the Met Gala exists between two very different worlds at the same time. It's flashy, modern, viral, and built for internet attention, but it's also deeply connected to old institutions, fashion history, elite networks, and long-established cultural power structures. Hosted at the Metropolitan Museum of Art and backed by some of the biggest names in fashion, the event mixes spectacle with tradition in a very controlled way.
Apparently, the queen of fashion, Anna Wintour, of course, the great icon of magazine publishing, Vogue, you name it, right? She's the woman that Meryl Streep is based on in The Devil Wears Prada. She controls everything, and she has said no to Meghan.
Not everybody navigates that balance the same way, and that's where people think Meghan's current public image may differ from the typical Met Gala formula. Meanwhile, Meghan's more recent appearances seem to be moving toward a completely different style of visibility. Her reported Chicago visit, for example, gave off a much more relatable and grounded image compared to the ultra-exclusive glamour usually tied to Met Gala culture. Instead of dramatic red carpets, luxury fashion headlines, and giant celebrity photo moments, the atmosphere connected to Meghan looked simple, relaxed, and almost intentionally low-key. That contrast stood out immediately online. Being seen in everyday settings creates a very different public image than constantly appearing inside elite celebrity spaces. And in today's media environment, stepping away from exclusivity can actually build another kind of influence entirely, one centered around accessibility, relatability, and authenticity rather than pure luxury and status. A lot of audiences connect strongly with that approach because it feels more personal and less performative than non-stop celebrity spectacle. But that strategy also comes with trade-offs. Because the Met Gala is built entirely around exclusivity, being part of that event means being visibly connected to one of the most powerful inner circles in fashion, entertainment, luxury branding, and cultural influence. And whether people admit it openly or not, access to those spaces still carries major symbolic weight in celebrity culture today. So the big question naturally becomes, is Meghan purposely stepping away from those elite spaces, or has her position inside them slowly changed over time? Nobody outside those circles really knows for sure. There's no clear public answer, only opinions and non-stop interpretation online. But one thing is obvious, the Met Gala still works like a yearly cultural checkpoint. It shows who's dominating headlines, who's shaping conversations, and how fame, influence, and status are shifting in real time. And once again, in 2026, Meghan Markle wasn't physically standing on the famous Metropolitan Museum of Art steps. But somehow, she still became part of the conversation anyway. Because at an event like the Met Gala, absence doesn't always erase relevance. Sometimes it creates even more curiosity.
You've got Prince Harry and Meghan Markle having to try and justify to their propagandists in the mainstream media, and there's not many left now, but Town and Country magazine and Harper's Bazaar, why they skipped the 2026 Met Gala. And effectively, it was simply that they were not invited.
By the end of the night, people weren't only talking about outfits, designers, or red carpet moments. The bigger conversation became about influence, who truly carried cultural weight in that moment, and who didn't. That's because the Met Gala has evolved into way more than a fashion event. It's basically a live snapshot of modern celebrity power. While cameras captured celebrities climbing those famous stairs, posing for photographers, and showing status in real time, Meghan remained just outside the picture, not ignored, but positioned differently. And in spaces where image and positioning mean everything, that difference stands out immediately. Now the question isn't simply why she wasn't there. The real question is what her absence actually says. Because events like this rarely feel random when it comes to globally recognized public figures. Meghan has spent years building a public identity connected to visibility, influence, media attention, and cultural relevance. She's not somebody who quietly fades into the background. And yet over time, people have noticed a pattern forming. While other celebrities continue moving deeper into elite entertainment and fashion circles, strengthening relationships with major designers, luxury brands, and powerful industry figures, Meghan's path appears to be moving differently. Not necessarily downward, just no longer fully connected to the same world people once expected her to dominate. That's what keeps the internet talking every year. Look at the Met Gala ecosystem itself. It's not random at all. The event operates through a tightly connected network of designers, magazine editors, stylists, media executives, luxury brands, celebrities, and major cultural power players, all orbiting around one central force, Anna Wintour. And her influence goes way beyond fashion. The Met Gala is built around curation, around carefully shaping who represents the current cultural moment and who best fits the direction elite fashion and entertainment circles are moving toward. Fame alone isn't enough to guarantee long-term access to that world. You also need alignment, consistency, trust, strong relationships, and the ability to move comfortably inside those environments over time. And that's exactly why Meghan's continued absence keeps standing out so much online year after year. Because for all the glamour surrounding the Met Gala, it's still a highly controlled environment. Every invitation, every table placement, every appearance is carefully planned. It's not just about getting attention, It's about getting the right kind of attention inside a system built on unspoken rules, elite connections, and long-term relationships. And Meghan has never fully operated inside that system. Her public path has been unpredictable from the very beginning. Hollywood actress, global celebrity, royal figure, public royal exit, media projects, interviews, business launches, every stage changed how people viewed her. That unpredictability kept her constantly in headlines, but it also made her harder to place inside traditional elite circles. Because attention and trust are not always the same thing. Now compare that to the 2026 Met Gala itself. The carpet was filled with familiar celebrity names, carefully selected rising stars, luxury fashion figures, and established cultural icons. These weren't just famous people showing up for photos. They fit naturally into the current direction of entertainment and fashion culture. They didn't just attend, they belonged there. And that feeling of belonging is exactly why Meghan's absence stands out to so many people online. Because by almost every measure, she's still globally famous. She still has the audience, the media attention, and the public story that keeps people talking nonstop. But influence isn't only about recognition anymore, it's also about integration. Staying visibly connected to the same system that constantly reinforces your place inside it. Right now, that level of connection doesn't seem as visible around Meghan as it once did. Public appearances still happen, but not always in the same elite spaces or alongside the same high-profile industry figures tied closely to events like the Met Gala. And in today's celebrity world, those small shifts matter a lot, because it's not only about being seen, it's about where you're seen and who you're seen with. The Met Gala sits at the very top of that system, one giant night where fashion leaders, entertainment stars, luxury brands, and media power players all come together and reinforce each other's influence. It's basically a cycle of visibility and relevance. And at least for now, Meghan seems to exist outside that cycle, which brings everything back to her Chicago appearance during the same weekend. On its own, the event sounded simple. Private gathering, family connections, low-key atmosphere, no giant media spectacle attached to it. And honestly, the contrast between that setting and the Met Gala looked extremely intentional to a lot of people online. One world is built around cameras, luxury fashion, exclusivity, and non-stop celebrity attention. The other projects simplicity, relatability, and a more grounded image. While one side leans fully into spectacle, the other seems to step away from it. That visual contrast became part of the story itself, but it also opened a much bigger question online. Is this a deliberate rebrand? Or is it a repositioning shaped partly by circumstances outside her control? Because there's a major difference between willingly stepping away from elite spaces and simply no longer moving through them the same way as before. Without clear answers, people fill in the gaps with speculation. Critics argue this is what naturally happens when professional relationships shift, industry alliances weaken, and old connections slowly become less active over time. In that view, doors don't slam shut dramatically. They just stop opening as easily as they once did. Supporters see it completely differently. They believe Meghan is intentionally creating her own lane outside traditional Hollywood gatekeepers and elite approval systems like the Met Gala. Instead of chasing invitations, they see her building influence through media projects, business ventures, and a more independent public image. And honestly, both perspectives continue to exist online because Meghan Markle no longer fits neatly into one category. She's not just an actress, not just a duchess, not just a celebrity media figure. She's all of those things combined, and that mix creates both opportunity and tension at the same time. In a culture that loves putting people into simple boxes, Meghan remains harder to define. And that makes her more difficult to place inside structured spaces like the Met Gala, where almost every guest fits a carefully curated cultural role. So maybe the best way to understand her absence isn't through rejection at all. Maybe it's simply misalignment. Two worlds that once seemed closely connected now moving in different directions, at least for this moment, because cultural positioning constantly changes. Someone outside the room today could easily become the center of attention tomorrow. The same systems that create distance can also reconnect people later under completely different circumstances. But those changes usually happen through timing, strategy, relationships, and public momentum. And right now, the timing just doesn't fully line up. The 2026 Met Gala didn't only highlight who was inside the room, it also highlighted who wasn't there and why people continue reading into that absence so heavily online, not as some final conclusion, not as proof of anything dramatic, just another chapter in an ongoing public story that still keeps people talking. Because one thing is undeniable, Meghan Markle remains part of the cultural conversation even when she isn't physically in the room. And in a world obsessed with access, exclusivity, and visibility, that difference says a lot. So now the question becomes simple. Do you think this is all just coincidence? Or is there something bigger happening behind the scenes when it comes to Meghan Markle and the Met Gala?